Hi everyone, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Welcome, and I'll try and take you through a bit of an analysis that I started doing because I was looking for silver bullion for myself in New Zealand, and I didn't feel that there was one stop shop for information where I could get all the sort of information I was looking for, and I had to go around in different websites and compare and ask questions and things like that. So hopefully this video is going to save people some time, and if you like it, please like it, share it if you think it's going to be helpful, comment if you want to make a change or observation or suggestion, and subscribe in case I make a follow-up video or any other videos, but this is my first one, so wish me luck. So I got a bit of preamble here. I'd just like to start by saying thank you to the people that responded to my queries at those retailers. Taking away from your main job. If any of you people feel that I've wrongly misrepresented your store or offering, please get in contact with a personal message or direct message, and I'll make any required changes. But I have done my best to be as fair as possible and present things, maybe if not as they are, as I can see that they are, the available information as far as I can find it. So yeah, I hope this is a fair assessment. So if you stay till the end, please do. I'll let you know out of the choices presented which one will be my choice. Again though, my selection may not be the same for everyone. For some people, the location of the store might be the main important factor. They can build a personal relationship with the retailer or the owner, and that might be the most important part. And it might override some a small price difference or something like that. And I've only compared one sort of aspect, one item, which was common among all of the retailers, luckily. But things might differ for different coins, nuggets, things like that. So I think because you're here with me, and I hope you can hear me, you must be aware at least that there might be some positive reason for owning silver bullion or gold bullion or something like that. And that's not the point of this video. I'm not going to go into why. I think there's a number of really good videos that really go in depth on why you might like to balance your personal wealth or your investment portfolio with some physical bullion. But I'm not going to go into that here. I sort of assume I'm talking to people that are at least a little bit interested in owning some silver bullion. So yeah, why am I comparing silver retailers? Well, because I'm an interested potential customer. I found it was quite difficult to get all the information in one place, so if I can save anyone some time, get them further down the track to, instead of thinking about researching buying silver, to getting to the end point and actually getting some, that'll be great. There's no guarantee that it's a particularly in-depth assessment of these sources. There were some cases that I cover here where I probably wouldn't have continued to find out all the information I have. If it was just for me, I would have found the price didn't match my requirements, or the postage was too high, or something about storage, and that would just lead me to move on. But I've tried to cover all the aspects just for the sake of completeness for this video. So I'm looking for myself as a potential customer. So along with any cash assets and if there is such a thing as a high interest savings rate in New Zealand anymore, which I do read those offerings with one eyebrow raised, because there is no such thing at the moment. Less than 2% is not high interest. Less than 4% is not high interest. It's a waste of time. But yeah, I've decided that silver is a part of my investment, so I decided to hold it, and I started this year to buy some. And one of the reasons is that yeah, gold has been mentioned by the Bank of International Settlements as a tier 1 asset with 0% risk to hold. Now, that doesn't mean if you buy it and the price goes down, that's not risk, but they're just saying if you buy gold, it will not be worth nothing next year. It will be worth something. There's no risk. It will not degrade. It will not disappear. It might be worth a different amount next year, but it's essentially, they call it a 0% risk asset. Yeah. And in my view, silver's in the same boat. Yeah. There are what are called risks, and risks can be additional costs, or they can be the risk of storing it and things like that. I try to cover a bit of that. Yeah, so I already said that. It's quite hard to find the information. I just hope that this video helps someone, or hopefully more than one person. So how am I assessing these things? The source needs to be trustworthy. Obviously, no transaction can really happen without trust. Even if the trust, the risk I'm talking about is, or I'm considering is like just slow delivery times or something like that, or the transaction not happening and me missing out on some other purchase I could have made. But I'm not going to make a comment too much on the trustworthiness of each retailer. I don't have personal experience purchasing of 10 out of the 11 sources, and I would like to assume they're all trustworthy. So that's your job to assess. I'm going to completely take myself out of it. Selection, yeah, I want to have a good selection in terms of if it's coins, different types of coin, different sizes of coin, different quantity, things like that. Or do I want to buy half a kilo or something like that, just a nugget or a bar or something like that? Yeah, I want to have some options. One of the things I initially covered, but I ran out of space in the assessment, was does the company have a tiered sort of pricing system? So what I mean is, some companies, the most expensive item is one item, or maybe like between 1 and 20, and then there's a cheaper price per unit above, say, 20 up to 50, that sort of thing. If you're making a large investment, it'd be nice if the price is less per unit if you're making a large purchase. Some companies don't entertain this at all. Some companies will give you quite a big discount when you get to the larger end of the purchases. But again, I didn't really systematically assess that. Low cost, this is probably the number one point for me. I don't want to choose the lowest cost place. It might not be the best place for me, but I don't want to pay too much more than I need to. Silver's a commodity. You shouldn't pay unnecessarily high costs. And I want ideally low premiums, so like the cost of the item is not too much above the international spot price, and low spreads, which means if this is a company that buys it back from you, I would like to know that say the purchase price is $30 and the company will buy it back at 22. Well, that's a known quantity. I'm assuming because I'm buying this thing, the price is going to go up, and therefore their buyback price is going to go up, but they're still going to probably have a similar percentage difference, and I just want to know what I'm getting into before I get into it. Ease of transaction. The more payment options available, obviously better. What I'm more looking at is I don't want to be sort of cornered into using the higher cost methods of payment, PayPal, credit card, when you're buying a lot at once or over time. This can add a significant portion to the amount of the cost of an investment. Yeah, so I want this bullion. I'm not buying it as a paperweight because I like the look of it. Because I want to eventually sell it back, and I want it to be liquid when I do. I want to be able to convert that into money and maybe buy something else quickly and easily. So, do they offer a buyback at that place? Is it going to be a good price? You're going to be able to do it quickly, easily, and hassle-free. Important part: if the retailer is not in your area, do they have reasonable delivery fees? Do they have a local pickup? That'd be great if it's local, or low cost secure storage. It's a great option if you're going to be holding a large amount. You don't want to have the risk of holding it at home. Certainty, so I just mean like before I make the purchase, do I know everything about it? So I know exactly how much I'm paying, how much the premium above spot value is, how much I could sell that back to them on the same day. Obviously I'll be holding it for longer than a day, hoping the price goes up, but I want to know everything. I want to be an informed consumer. So yeah, the place I buy may not be necessarily the best place for me to sell it back to. Yeah, it depends. Storage is a very important part of it. If you're going to tie up a large portion of your accumulated income in bullion, you want to keep it safe. You don't want someone to walk off with it. It's a bit harder to do with silver. There's more of it, weighs more than something sort of very value dense like gold. But there's different costs. You got to think about these things. You're going to store it at home. Is that outside of a vault or inside of a vault? There are risks and costs to do with that. In a bank, in a safety deposit box, or at a bullion storage facility. And I'll try and go through the storage options, or the costs at least, with a few local offerings. Overall, New Zealand's a very safe place to store bullion, just like everything else. We're a long way away from anyone, and we're not at the crossroads of the world, so we're definitely not top of the list of places to invade. Excuse me. So my best option, my best choice would be a one-stop shop location or offering, a website. If not the lowest, a low purchase price, a low spread between my purchase price and the price I can sell it back, a low difference or premium between the price I can buy it for and the spot value of silver, cheap storage if I decide to store it there, if they're not local, reasonable shipping prices, all these things. So which ones did I look at? These ones. The Bullion Star is in Singapore, the rest are in New Zealand. I'll talk about that, why I included that. I put in Trade Me as well, because a lot of people decide to go that route, try to sell and buy on Trade Me. And I'll just briefly touch on a couple of expired listings, ones that went through, and the prices and costs associated with that. Yeah. So this is the item that I compared between retailers. It's a 1 ounce silver Australian koala, 99.99% pure, and they all had it. So it's a great source of comparison. Even with like 1 kilo bars, there's different manufacturers, there's different sometimes purities, and it's not as easy to find an item that everyone stocks. So this is my point of comparison. Some of the retailers stocked different years of the same one, but I assumed it was pretty comparable. Either 2017, 2018, or 2019. So this coin may not suit everyone. Personally, it's not my preference. The reason I don't like coins is I believe that it's got a reasonably high premium. So the spot price of silver and the price that they sell it after they've minted it into a coin there's quite a difference. And it can be, for a coin like this, I think the lowest split I looked at was 21%. Or I think 14. Yeah, 14 was the lowest, then 21 was the next closest. And the highest was, I think it was about 40-odd%. So that's getting a little bit high. I'd like to buy my things as close as possible to spot price. There are reasons that people like to buy these coins though, because they believe that because they're nicely minted, they look very nice, they're quite presentable, desirable item, and they are felt to hold their value quite well. Possibly if the spot price of silver goes down, they might hold their price better, but I'm not really sure. I don't really comment on that. But this is the item, long story short. So sorry I couldn't break this down and sort of have it appear on each click. So it's all right there in front of us, and I'll just sort of try and let you know where my eyes are going with my old cursor, and we'll just rip through it. So yeah, we've got 11 sources down the side. Bullion deals first. The price there, $27.93. That's pretty good. I think that's second cheapest. Shipping, you got 3 options. 2 weeks shipping for $20, 4 weeks shipping for $14.90, or pickup in Tauranga. I thought it was a little bit curious that because I changed the amount of coins in my order from 1 to I think 20 to 25 to 100, and the shipping value, even though I refreshed, never changed. So I'd probably like to contact them directly before processing that, because it would seem to be reasonable and likely that the shipping charges would change if you're purchasing 10 kilos or 30 grams. No storage option, so I put 2 lines there if I didn't ask, and I didn't ask about this storage option. It wasn't available on the website. Maybe if I made further inquiries it might be. Pickup option, yeah, Tauranga. Buyback, yes. Yes, but I think it was quite hard to pin down a price, and it wasn't available on the website's buy inquiry, and for whatever reason I didn't proceed with that inquiry. Customer service, not sure, didn't deal with them. Bullion, nz.com, you can see it's pretty high on the price range, $34.05 per 1 ounce coin. Or if you use PayPal as one of the options, it's $35.30, because I think it's 3.5% plus 45 cents per transaction. That's the PayPal charges. Shipping, $6.50, and it wasn't region based. I thought it might make sense if it was very nearby or in a different island, or way at the end of the country, but it didn't update or change depending on the location. So I'd like to know a little bit more. Same shipping charge whether I put in 1 or 7 coins, which 7 was the maximum they had in stock. So I'd like to know a little bit more before I proceeded with a transaction, and that's quite unlikely for me to happen, because I didn't like the price, $34.05. In my views, not competitive. Sorry. Bullion Star, available in Singapore, so you can, a pretty good price, not as good as Morris & Watson, but I think not quite as cheap as bullion deals, but not too bad. I think it's top 3, top 4, or top 3, top 4, depending on. So no delivery option. You can pick it up in Singapore if you're in the neighborhood. Payment options, there's quite a few. So there's bank deposit. I don't think that would work for New Zealanders because they want the bank deposit to be done overnight, and it probably wouldn't work like that internationally. But you can do this little shorthand DF, which is deposited funds. You can deposit funds with the exchange and then use part or all of it to purchase bullion. That's probably the easiest way. They also offer cryptocurrency, cash at their retail store, or there's some other options available as well. I think mostly relevant to Singapore residents. Storage options, yes. Storage costs pretty low. So they charge for silver. It's different for other metals, but for silver it's 0.59% of the value of the stored bullion, with a minimum charge of 19.19 cents per day, which over a year that equals $69.35 Singaporean. So the more dollar value of bullion that you store with them, the less the minimum daily charge is relevant, and more the percentage fee. But it's pretty reasonable storage. Pickup location, yes. They got a retail. Will they buy it back? Yes. 22.78. It's very readily apparent because they put it on their website how much they'll buy back from you straight away, and that's the best price, buyback price of those options. Obviously, I didn't get all of the responses, but the customer service there, CS, is yes, responsive, helpful, relatively quick. Buybullion.nz, $31.31, and they had a minimum order quantity of 21 ounce coins. So all the other ones, unless I've stated, I've just got the price for one ounce coin. Shipping, probably you're the best to calculate that for wherever you are. It's via New Zealand couriers to the nearest depot to you. However much that costs. Payment options, bank deposit, credit card, other options available as well. Storage option, yes. I think it's the highest cost, and I took the lowest cost, reasonably sized, vault at each place. So for this one, it was the lower end was $297, and it went up to like $1,000, $600, something like that. So I just took the lowest value one. So you'd have to have a reasonable amount of silver and possibly gold in there to make that worthwhile, in my opinion. Pickup location doesn't seem to be, but they're located in Blenheim, so they're probably a retail store. I don't know if you go through the website to purchase there, but maybe just pop in there. Their buyback was $21.34. And as I said before, the reason you want to buy a coin, if you do prefer these coins, is because you think it's going to hold its value above silver spot value, and that's why you're going to buy it. But they're going to buy it back from you at less than the prevailing spot price, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Well, for them, but if you know what I mean. The whole point of buying a minted coin is there's going to be a premium that still applies to some degree when you're selling it. So it should be able to sell it above the spot price. Then there's Morris and Watson. They've got the lowest cost there to buy 1 ounce silver koala, $25.20. They did say they don't always hold that item, but they just happen to have it. I'm not sure what the quantity was through their local contacts, so they beat everyone else out there. $6 shipping, up to 3 kilos, and that includes insurance. I thought that was pretty good. Sort of a one cost, you don't have much to worry about. And 3 kilos that's quite a lot for quite a low fee. So there's only one payment option, bank deposit, storage option. Now I put yes with a couple of asterisks. Now this sort of came up outside of my inquiries into it about the coins. So they did mention that there was some vault storage available, and I said, how much is that? And they said it's free, and I said, oh, tell me more, tell me more. And they said it's storage for the silver pellets, so they're just sort of the raw material, and they're going to have an unallocated storage, which means they'll give you some paper evidence that you hold a certain quantity or weight of these pellets, and if you decide to withdraw them, you can give them an extra $10 and ask them to make it into a bar. And I thought that was relatively low cost to make a bar, and I like the low storage option, or the low cost storage option. And yeah, so that's based in Auckland, and they'll buy the 1 ounce silver koala back from you, $22.10 based on Monday's prices, and that's the best tied best for best in Auckland and New Zealand. So that's good, and they're very good, responsive customer service. mygold.com. So they had a bit of a range there on the website. I didn't break it down any further than that. I just even just looking at the cheapest end of the range, it sort of outranks a couple already. Shipping is by inquiry, and I didn't make that inquiry. I'm very sorry. So bank deposit, FPOS there, EP, I put that, and the cryptocurrency are your payment options. And there's no storage option, and they're based in Auckland, and reasonable buyback price, and they're good with customers. They got back to me pretty quickly. New Zealand Mint, $30.70. So $5.50 more than Morris and Watson. No details about shipping on the website. I think you can just pop into their location and pick it up though, and only pay by bank deposit. Yeah, there's not many payment options, but that's obviously it's the lowest cost one. So that's good as well. Storage options, yes. And how much do they charge for storage at their location? It's 1% plus GST of the stored value. 1% of the stored value for corporate customers, and 2% plus GST with a minimum charge of $50 for you and me, Joe Blows, wanting to store our stuff at their location. So not as cheap as some, but cheaper than others, and probably if you're in Auckland it's relatively accessible, and they've got a good buyback price and reasonably responsive customer service. Alright, we're almost at the end, I'll try and keep it quick. New Zealand Vault Bullion, $31.10, they quoted in US dollars, and I'm not sure if this is right, but when I tried to proceed with the payment, they added on $155 US for shipping and $49 US customs fee, and we're talking for a 1 ounce coin. So if it was me, if I wasn't doing this research for you, that's where I would have stopped and I would have moved on. So and only payment by deposited funds. Storage option, yes, they're called Vault Bullion. They offer a vault, so the cheapest option, I believe, is $175 plus GST per year. Based in Wellington, yes, you can pick up. Not sure about the buyback price. I believe that was on inquiry, but it wasn't readily available through the site, and I didn't contact them any further. The information I got was just off the website, so I can't comment about their customer service. Silver Gold Bull, relatively high cost there for the fiat items, and PayPal, cryptocurrency, and credit card. So cryptocurrency will be your cheapest option. The other ones will have about 4% additional charges. Shipping, $42.18. I thought that was on the high side. So I didn't inquire any further about the storage option because it wasn't to be stored in New Zealand. They have a number of locations, I think, in North America, and there was one in Singapore and some other locations. But I didn't inquire any further because of their initial selling price of the item. And they didn't have a buyback price displayed. You'd have to inquire about that, which I didn't. Trade Me, I thought it was reasonable to include because evidently from my brief search, a number of people do seek to buy and sell on Trade Me. So I found a couple of transactions that went through. There's one there. There's one 1 ounce coin that someone got for $29.50. It was a silver koala, and then there was a roll of 10 coins for an average price of $30.50. So the one ounce coin was for shipping was $4.50 for city delivery and $8.50 for rural, and the 10 coins were $12.50 throughout New Zealand. Obviously these will vary. I'm just giving you an example. Payment options are what's normal for Trade Me. Pickup option, both people selling said no, they don't want pickups, and no buyback. Customer service, I didn't include that. That would only be relevant to those individual sellers. I would just say that I had a look at those ones, and both of the silver koalas on there, there were 2 completed listings for 53 listings. So it's quite a low rate of listing to successful transaction. Possibly a lot of those are double ups, appearing twice. But I'd just like to say it doesn't seem to be a good way to, especially if you've got a large amount of coins, to be able to quickly sell them for a reasonable fee. You get about a 4% charge of selling. The ones that did sell had I think a lower entry price and got some interest and got some bids. Most of the ones that didn't sell had like a relatively high buy now price of something like $34. The last one is Waihihi Bullion Company. This one isn't the koala. It's a silver Canadian maple. It's pretty relatively equivalent, so I included that. They didn't have a koala. $30.95 for that. And they got a few payment options. There's PayPal, bank deposit, cash at their location in Waihi, and credit card. Not sure what they charge for shipping, if they do storage, how much that would cost, if you can do pickup, although I imagine you can, and what their buyback price is. Unfortunately, they didn't get back to me when I inquired 4 days ago. So ranking overall, look, I can't decide for you. I can tell you what I decided. Depends what you're looking for. So I'll be moving forward, continuing to buy through Bullion Star. So just the stuff I buy on Bullion Star is unallocated silver. I buy it by the gram, and I'm not so. It's got a very good buy price and sales price, so it's very, very liquid. I don't like the unallocated part of it. So at some point I'll convert that to physical and withdraw it, or liquidate it and buy another asset. Morris & Watson will be my New Zealand option. They had a very good purchase price, and the way I'd probably do it is not to buy the koala, because they allow me to purchase unallocated silver pellets with free vault storage, which would allow me to, over 3 or 4, let's say 3 or 4 months, build up a kilo's worth, and then I could ask them to make me a bar for a $10 fee, which I think is pretty reasonable, and then I can withdraw that kilo and store it somewhere else. So I think if I was to continue buying silver bullion, that would work for me. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Hope everyone could hear me, and I hope it achieved its aim of just getting some all the information, trying to bring it into one location, even if it's not perfect. I did try. So yeah, if you've got any, please message me privately or in the comments with any changes you'd like to make, any suggestions for future videos, if there is going to be another one, or requests. Just got a couple of ideas, see what you think. I was thinking of doing a similar review for maybe the same retailers, but in relation to gold. Maybe gold and silver for Australian retailers, and possibly again for Southeast Asian sources as well. There's another one. It's not a fully formed idea, but I just sort of floated out there. I was reasonably surprised to find out, because I'd been unaware, that the Reserve Bank of New Zealand has a direct holding in exactly 0 grams, kilos, or tons of gold. Now, everyone's opinion on gold varies, but I sort of have come to expect that certainly if you're talking about France, Germany, Japan, America, even Australia, just over the border, over the sea there, they all hold large amounts of gold to just as a reserve asset or to back up their currencies. And I thought it would be worthwhile possibly investigating why we don't in New Zealand at all. We've decided not to. Why are we going to keep on the same path and all that stuff? Anyway, thanks for coming. Yeah, smash that like button if you liked it. Thank you very much.